Hemmings scores again.
And Rhiannon Marshall scores. York hit back.
Ball back on the inside again as Kira Bennett just sidesteps her way in. York collect it. Chance for Partington. Gets it down. What a kick from Faye Gaskin. That is world class. Look what it means to them. Banks with a sidestep. And there again. This is mesmerising stuff from the Wigan Warriors.
We know we've got the two best teams from the competition.
The history makers, the first women's team to retain their title.
Well, good afternoon, welcome to Game Day Live on the Sportsman, and for the last time this season we have got a clash from the Betfred Women's Super League here at Headingley as the Leeds Rhinos take on the York Valkyrie. Alongside me for this one, formerly of the Valkyrie, now Huddersfield Giants, Kelsey Gentles. Kelsey, great to have you with us. Great to have one more women's game on the Sportsman this year. Now, the league table's wrapped up. We know who's going to be in the playoffs next week, but there's a bit more than that in this game, isn't there? There'll be plenty to play for here in terms of pride.
Yeah, definitely. I think even though the league's kind of wrapped up and we know who's going to be playing in those playoff games, I think everything's still to play for these two teams. You don't want to be going into playoff rugby with a loss under your belt. You really want to be building the foundations and laying that platform, so when you go and play those playoff games for that semi-final leading to a grand final, you're in your best foot forward.
You mentioned that word platform. Probably the hallmark of these two teams this year has been inconsistency. There'll be a lot of things that they want to iron out and get right and try and nail down ahead of knockout football in a week's time. Yeah,
definitely. I don't think either team's probably had the best year in terms of consistency and playing the best rugby, so I think now it's leading into these big games, these playoff rugby games, they'll want to really set that platform and build their foundations to make sure that when it comes to playoff rugby in that semi-final, they're really playing well.
But in terms of the 80 minutes today, we should see a lot of quality. We've seen a lot of very good stuff from these teams this year.
Yeah, 100%. You know, these are the best players in the Women's Super League, and when they play, they do want to put on a show, and I think it's going to be a very tight game today. You know, I can't call who's going to win at this moment in time because I think both teams are going to throw everything at each other, and hopefully we have a really good game today.
Yeah, a bit of a derby day feel to this one. We'll see how these two teams get stuck into each other. But first, let's hear from both head coaches, Lindsay Anfield, and from the Leeds Rhinos, Lois Forsell. Lois, thank you for joining us. Last game of the regular season, what's your preparation been like?
Yeah, it's been good. We've had a good week at training. The conditions have replicated what it could be like today on the back of a real tough game at Huddersfield. So yeah, really good week in training, preparing for a big game today, and looking forward to getting out there now.
I know it'll be very difficult to not have one eye on next week, but how important is it in the picture of that you get things right today?
Yeah, I think it'll just be good for us in terms of making sure we get right what we've worked on in training. It shows that we recognise our processes, it shows that we can stick to our processes, and it'll just make sure that we have a good performance. So we're looking forward to doing that today. And play to the conditions. We probably struggled to do that a little bit last week at Huddersfield when it absolutely hammered it down, so hopefully we can do that a little bit better today if the heavens do open.
And is this almost the kind of perfect sparring session for knockout football in a week's time, a game against the top four?
Yeah, I think so. I think obviously whatever game you're playing against, whatever team, you've got to go out there and get a good performance because you're only good as your last performance. So we want to have a good performance today and then kick on into next week.
Probably fair to say both teams will look at this season and circle consistency as a little bit of an issue.
Yeah.
How big is this today to try and get some of that in place?
Yeah, I think so. I think obviously we've both probably been a little bit inconsistent, and last time out against each other we got the draw. So I think that we've come very close against some of the top four teams, and we just want to make sure we get a win next to our name today.
Lindsay, thank you for joining us. Last game of the regular season, I suppose an opportunity to try and fine-tune ahead of knockout football in the weeks to come.
Yeah, absolutely. According to the league table, this doesn't mean much, but of course it means a lot to us. Bit of a derby coming to Headingley is massive, isn't it? But yeah, all eyes on next week and trying to do ourselves proud in the playoffs.
You mentioned that sort of derby feel to it. It must be quite easy to get the players up for this. You've had some real tussles with Leeds over the years.
Yeah, of course, and it's what a great stadium, what a great event to finish the season on, and the girls are really looking forward to it.
Is today really important in terms of almost a confidence exercise as well with what's to come?
Yeah, we've got a few players changing position, missing a couple, so it's just looking at some little things in our processes to make sure we're ready for next week.
Both teams come into this game, obviously playoffs secure, but knowing that you're going to have to beat a top two team in the semi-finals, I suppose in a way is this kind of perfect practice for that intense environment?
Yeah, of course, and the weather's great practice as well. No, we're really focused on doing a better job on Saints next week. But yeah, like you said, today is a great derby, and we've just got to make sure we get things right to follow that up next week.
Well, best of luck today.
Thank you.
Nice one. Cheers, Lindsay. So one final hit out of the regular season in the Betfred Women's Super League before we get to the playoffs next week. So let's have a look at how the two teams line up this afternoon. Starting off with the home side, Leeds Rhinos. It's Ebony Stead at full-back. Sophie Nuttall and Olivia Whitehead are the wing pairing, and inside them, Connie Boyd and Caitlin Beavers playing behind a half-back pairing of Mel Howard and Ruby Walker. In the front row for the home team, Izzy Northrop and Ella Donnelly have Ruby Bruce in between them, with Lucy Murray and Shannon Brown in the second row, and Bella Sykes locking in the pack for Leeds. Off the interchange bench, Kira Bennett, Lacey Owen, Kaya Glynn and Jess Sharp will provide the reinforcements. For the Valkyrie, the reigning Betfred Women's Super League champions, of course, they start off with Ebony Partington at fullback. Peace Lakuru and Emma Kershaw are the wingers, with Lisa Parker and Adoa Akiwu inside them. Ellie Williamson and Tamsin Renouf will play in the halves. In front of them, a pack fronted up by Olivia Wood, Izzy Brennan and Georgie Dagger. In the second row, Savannah Andrade and Evie Sexton have Agnes Wood locking in behind them. Coming off the bench for the Valkyrie, Rhiannon Marshall, Izzy Bibby, Tara Moxon returns to her old stomping ground, as does Zoe Hornby. So 80 minutes left in the regular season of the Betfred Women's Super League. The playoff places already decided, but plenty on the line here in terms of local pride and just playing themselves into form ahead of knockout games to come. Alongside me, formerly of the York Valkyrie, of course, England international, Kelsey Gentles. Kelsey, these two teams should fly into each other from minute one this afternoon, shouldn't they?
Yeah, definitely. I think even though the league's probably wrapped up and we know who's going to be playing in those playoff games, there is still so much to play for today. You know, both teams want to go into next week in really good stead and have just really good consistency going into playoff rugby. So I think today's going to be a cracker.
And Saints and Wigan on the horizon. This is an opportunity to send a message as well, isn't it, to the top two, that these semi-finals are going to be on the line and very much anyone's game.
Yeah, definitely. It's like you said, you know, there's a lot of pride on the line today. They do want to send that message to Wigan and Saints that, you know, next week we are coming for you and we wanted that place in the grand final. And I think both teams are hungry. Both teams have had a taste of what it is to be the champions and they want to do it again.
We mentioned it at the top of the show. Consistency has been an issue at times for these two teams, but we've seen some real standout performances. We'll look back to round one and Leeds Rhinos getting that draw against St Helens. They were on top and looked very good for a lot of that game. York more recently beating, you know, Wigan, who'd been all-conquering really up until that point. We've seen some very, very good performances from both of these teams, and you know, potentially today they could bring the best out of each other. Yeah,
100%. And I think both these teams have a habit of kind of settling the ship and really finding form towards the end of the season and the end of the year, just before playoff rugby. And I think that today is no different. You know, they both know what they need to do to get to a grand final, and I think they'll both want to do that today. Like you say, York have had a really good performance against Wigan. Similarly, Leeds have been diamonds in parts of the season, and I think today is going to be the real test for both of them.
Talking about York, obviously a team and a club that you know very well, but they've got a habit, haven't they, of getting to grand finals and winning grand finals, but perhaps they've not been the fancy team during the regular season, perhaps not the fancy team coming into the playoffs. Lindsay Anfield and that side seems to be very good at getting it right at the right time of year.
Yeah, definitely. I think being at York and being in that environment, really tough girls, really resilient, and know that you don't have to be the best team at the beginning of the season. It is a long year, and as long as you come right and you come good at the right time, you can really get to a grand final and you can win and become a champion. I think that's what York's all about, just, you know, hitting your form right at the right moment.
A healthy crowd building up over in the North Stand here at AMT Headingley Stadium. Fantastic venue. And we should have a fantastic 80 minutes of rugby league on offer for you here on the Sportsman. We've had some absolute belters from the Women's Super League this season. Mentioned that round one draw. We had Saints v Wigan drawing against each other. Leeds pushing Wigan all the way. And of course St Helens and York playing out a really good game a couple of weeks ago. Every time we broadcast in this competition, we get entertainment and quality, and I'm sure we've got more on the way again as we wait for the two teams here at Headingley. Just trying to pick out some individual battles between these two teams, and I think the halfback pairing is interesting. It's a little bit makeshift from a York perspective. Tamsin Renouf, her shirt number alone will tell you that scrum half isn't a natural position, but she's done a good job there for the Valkyrie when she stepped in.
Yeah, I think at York, players are like that. You know, they'll just play where they need to play, and she's done a really good job of slotting into that position where it's really not that comfortable for her. I think probably Leeds have a bit more settled spine in that aspect where they have their 6 and 7 in their preferred positions, but I think Nellie Williamson, she's more than capable of playing that halfback role, and she is a halfback by nature, and I think that'll steady the ship for Tamsin today.
And then on the other side for Leeds, Mel Howard obviously come over from Australia. She's been a real kind of bright spark for them throughout this season.
Yes, she has, definitely. I think in the games where you've seen Leeds really show their ability, I think that's when she gets her hands on the ball, she's organising early, she knows what she needs to do, and she gets the players where they need to go, and I think she's going to be a real good player for Leeds today.
And then I think as the game wears on, especially as we look at the skies above Headingley, I think we could get all 4 seasons across the next 80 minutes, but the interchange benches feel like they could really come into play today, and there's so much quality on both. Kira Bennett, Lacey Owen, Rhiannon Marshall, Tara Moxon, Zoe Holmby, international experience spread right across the benches today.
Yeah, I think there's massive international experience on the bench, and I do believe that the game will be won and lost maybe on the bench and the interchange and how they work today. You know, we have Kira Bennett, Lacey Owen and Kaya Glynn, all fantastic players that are tried and tested in Super League. Jess Sharp, a wonderfully young player, and on the other hand we've got York Valkyrie, where Rhiannon Marshall, she needs no introduction, she's fantastic, she can change a game and win you a game, and the same way with Isabel Bibby, Tara Moxon, Zoe Hornby. The benches are massive today, and I think that is where the game is won and lost.
So just looks like there is some steady drizzle coming down here at AMT Headingley. It is forecast to get a little bit worse, so we'll see how that comes into play throughout the afternoon, but for the time being, no excuses. Ball might be a little bit slippery out there, but should be a hard, fast surface as it always is here, an absolute carpet at Headingley these days. A stadium that's reinvented itself, of course, over the last few years, and the perfect stage for 2 of the best teams in the women's game coming head to head this afternoon. Be very, very difficult for either of these teams, whatever they may say, to not have an eye on next week and what's to come, but they have got to get it right today first.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's natural for them saying that they're not looking to next week and they're just focused on the job at hand today, which is true to an extent, but I think everyone's looking to play off rugby. Both teams will want to lay a good foundation today and get a really convincing win, and build the confidence within their core group that they're going into play off rugby next week. You want to be the best self, you want to be really positive and really confident.
And in a way, we've seen imbalance throughout the competition this season in terms of the top 4-5 and perhaps the rest, but a game against top 4 opposition ahead of what's to come is probably the perfect preparation, isn't it? Yeah,
and it's a competitive game, and it's what you need, and I think there's been a lot of criticism of Women's Super League in the past that there's not been enough competitive games moving into the playoff rugby, so the team's not well prepared, and I think today there's no excuses. You've had the perfect preparation for these playoff games, and let's see what you can do.
So the 2 teams are in the tunnel, ready to go here at Headingley. We are moments away from kick-off in this Betfred Women's Super League clash. 2 teams who know each other very well, of course. We've had some very entertaining clashes between the 2 sides over the years. All set for another one here on the Sportsman as the 2 teams emerge from the tunnel. The league table not an issue, but local bragging rights. The derby on this side of the Pennines in the top 4 of the Betfred Women's Super League. This will mean a lot to both teams. And as they emerge from the tunnel, a sense of anticipation around Headingley of what's to come. Freddie Lincoln is our man in the middle, our referee this afternoon. And final words being said from both teams in huddles ahead of this one. It is going to be the Valkyrie who get us underway, kicking from left to right on your screen in their classic black kit with amber stripes. So the famous blue and amber of the Leeds Rhinos from right to left. Ellie Williamson with the kicking tee, just waiting for a ball, and then we will be underway here. And especially in these conditions, it feels like these early sets, early exchanges are going to be very, very important to set the tone in this game. So York will get us up and running here at AMT Headingley. Ellie Williamson has the ball on the tee. Final checks from the referee, and we are underway here on the Sportsman. Leeds getting first taste of the football. Mel Howard just slowing that down with her foot before distributing and get underway. And I'm sure we say this every week, Elsie, but completion in these early sets, error-free football early on in this game is going to be crucial.
Yeah, I think the first 20 minutes are going to be massive for both teams. They won't want to make any mistakes. They won't want to give away the ball cheaply. And I think the conditions may come into play with that today.
So York's defence up straight away, forcing Leeds backwards. So the Rhinos having to do the job from deep inside their own half as Bella Sykes takes a carry up towards the 30-metre mark. Dead centre, she'll play the ball, and Ruby Bruce will distribute.
Move now. Wait, go for.
Now they come out to the right-hand side. Big contact comes in from Williamson. This is the last, so Leeds will be kicking from inside their own half. Howard puts boot to ball, looks to try and turn the back three around. Does go to ground via the fingers of Peacock, but it has gone backwards, so she will gather and now look to try and force her way back upfield. Good effort as well, shrugs off a few defenders, and York will start their first set of the game inside their 20.
I think Peace has been a really positive story for York this year, you know, coming over from Kenya and really doing everything she needs to do to get in that squad, and I think she's done really well.
So York looking to work their way out from deep inside their own half.
On the foot, wait.
Dagger brings us out to the right-hand side. That ball's gone to the ground, and it has come forward, so an error in the first set from York and a first opportunity
on the 20. In between.
For the Leeds Rhinos to put together an attacking set in this game.
Quite uncharacteristic from Livewood as well, you know, normally really solid on the dot ball, but like I said, the conditions are wet, the ball will be a little bit greasy.
So Mel Howard will feed the scrum. That's Ruby Bruce in the 14 jersey. He brings that to the right-hand side. Here's Caitlin Beavers. She'll be looking to put a big performance in today after another really tough season with injury. She plays the ball on the 30. We come out to the left-hand side. Izzy Northrop carries up towards the 20, still keeping things relatively central for the time being, Leeds. In between those tram lines, that's where they keep it again. Still tackles in hand to put some shape together. That's stacked to the left-hand side, and that is the way they come this time. Howard, short ball from her to Lucy Murray, who's up towards the 10-metre mark. Still a couple of tackles in this set. They come short side. Howard up to the line. Beavers tries to force her way over. She's stopped just a metre away from the try line. This is the last, so attacking kick on the way from the boot of Howard. Just stabs a grubber kick through. It's still going now. Could be a try here. Referee's got some working out to do, but I think he's going to give this. He does. And it's Ruby Walker who's dived on the loose ball. It just wasn't dealt with from the kick, and from a bit of a nothing situation, Leeds are on the board.
Yeah, I think that they were just buying the time there a bit, you know, easing the way in. It's their first time in York's half, and they really wanted to maybe test out York's defence a little bit, but by chance and by the chance of nature, a bounce of a ball, it can all change, and that's what happened.
You can see the kick comes through. It's Wood who can't quite deal with it. Partington can't get it out, and well, 4 points could be about to become 6 from a conversion that's relatively central. And Lindsay Anfield and York will be looking at this and going, well, that's come from 2 errors, really.
Yeah, they won't be happy with that at all. You know, they would want to get through at least 20 minutes of this first half error-free and really just kind of make their way into the game, but they'll just want to kind of scratch that off. It's back to 0-0 and reset again. Maybe lacking a little bit of composure these first couple of minutes.
So Howard brushes over the 2 and is a perfect start for the Leeds Rhinos, out to a 6-point lead. And it looked as if York had done enough really in that defensive set to see off the danger, but just unable to deal with a bouncing ball.
Yeah, it was really good contact. You know, their try line D was really good, and it was just Liv Wood just missed that kicking the ball out to make it go dead, and it was a good chance, and it was a little bit of magic from Ruby Walker.
So York getting us back underway and having to put an early setback behind them. Kickoff is almost identical for the first one. This time Howard brings it in cleanly. Big shot comes in.
Move! Squared up together, wait. On the foot, wait. Go. One.
Leeds with the ball inside their own half.
Second.
Following the pattern that we've seen in the first 5 minutes of this game, just keeping things tight between the tram lines for the time being. Now they come down the short side. Decent progress made up over the 40. Still a few tackles in their pocket to try and work their way into York territory, and it's short side ball again, and they are temporarily into Valkyrie real estate. The thing forced back over the halfway line. But a decent set after scoring this for the Rhinos. This is the last, so likely that the kick will come from inside Leeds territory, or pretty much bang on the halfway line as Howard puts it up into the air. Partington drifts underneath it and takes it in cleanly. She'll return well up over the 30. This feels like an important set for York to just work their way back into the game after that setback.
Yeah, they will definitely want to, you know, get out their own half, get a good kick away and really feel the way back into the game. You know, that first 5 minutes probably wasn't how they wanted to start it.
So it's Georgie Dagger playing a dummy half for the Valkyrie today in the absence of Sinead Peach. A real Swiss Army knife of a player. Georgie Dagger fits in anywhere across that back line, really.
Yeah, she can really play anywhere, Georgie.
And she'll bring us to the right hand side on halfway. Strong carry from Wood. And now Williamson will put boot to ball, and it's a high one, dealt with well. And leads away on that left hand side with Liv Whitehead. Will play the ball. And then Beavers is the next cab off the rank, up over the 40. Howard in at acting half. Oh, and that goes to ground. So it's first major error of the game from a Leeds perspective, and York now will get their first attacking platform of the afternoon.
Yeah, I thought it was really good return from the back three for Leeds. They really was doing the job. They made some really good meters, and they had York on the back foot for a moment. It's just a little error gave away that possession.
So they'll take the scrum in the middle of the field, and York have got their options on both sides. It's to the left they come. Adoa Rakiwu up towards the 30. She'll play the ball to Dagger. Short ball right from Dagger to Sexton. Sexton, another one of these young players coming through the Valkyrie system. And York now already into striking distance. They'll come left, Whitehead up towards the line. Short ball from her, big shot goes in, and huge contacts on Sexton, who spills the ball.
That was brilliant contact from Leeds. You know, they was probably losing the ruck a little bit too much there, and a great contact, and they got the ball back.
Yeah, they've got themselves out of a little bit of trouble. You see it again. It's a double shot that comes in and forces the error. So Leeds back with ball in hand, but having to do the hard work here to just get themselves out of their own 30-metre zone, up towards the 40 now. And they'll come out to the left-hand side. Boot to ball, looking to try and turn York around early on in the set. Peace Lakuru has a job on her hands to get to this and shut things down. She does well. She does really well in the end to just take the danger out of that kick. So slower play the ball, but does allow York to get back and get themselves set.
Go to. That's benefit that you'll get, Caitlin.
And the game just starting to settle into a little bit of an arm wrestle here. 10 minutes in. Leeds with the opening try of the game, courtesy of Ruby Walker.
I think the contacts have been solid from both teams so far.
That's going to be important, isn't it, over the next few weeks, whatever may come for both of these sides in the playoffs. They know that they're going into battles with strong physical sides in the shape of St Helens and Wigan.
Yeah.
And they need to be ready for that.
I think that in the top four, you know, the contacts are massive, and you really do need to put your best foot forward when you're playing in those top four clashes, and especially playoff rugby. You've got nothing to lose, and you want to make sure you're in good stead.
Well, that's Ebony Stead making some progress from fullback on the kick return. This is Beavers again. She stopped on the 35-metre mark. She'll play the ball to Howard, who just drops a short one to Lucy Murray. Murray stopped just short of halfway. Bruce in at acting half brings us to Bella Sykes. Sykes brings us forward into the York half. Ruby Walker, try scorer, just keeps it in hand herself on this occasion. This is the last, so out the ball comes to Mel Howard, who puts a high one up for Lakuru, or Partington to deal with. In the end, it is Lakuru who takes it on the full. She's done well there.
That's a great catch from Peace.
And it looks like Leeds have gone after this left edge of York a little bit with their kicking game.
Yeah, they're definitely targeting that left edge and trying to split Peace and Ebony and make them make that decision. They're coming up trumps at the minute, though.
So Dagger brings us back out to the left-hand side. It's York keeping it tight for the time being, just taking the metres on offer up the middle, but they're going to get a few more tackles here. Back to zero. That ball has come forward, so they won't take advantage of that. And that is a coach killer, isn't it, after getting a fresh set?
Yeah, York will be really disappointed with that. You know, they've weathered a storm these past couple of minutes. They've dealt with some really difficult kicks from Ruby Walker and from Mel Howard, and just to give it up cheaply like that is just, it's disappointing for York.
We can just hear on the roof above us here at Headingley the rain starting to team down. There's going to be Leeds scrum on the 40. Decided to take it on the right hand side. Rhinos up over the 40. Thoughts and prayers of our camera crew who are out in the elements. Sam and Martin down there doing it tough. We're nice and dry up here in the gantry. The players as well having to deal with these conditions. It looks pretty set in. So Leeds with ball in hand. Sykes brings us out to the right hand side. Attacking opportunity for the Rhinos to get their second try of the afternoon. Bruce in at dummy half. Shape on both sides. Comes left to Mel Howard. Lucy Murray manages to poke her head through the line, but eventually dragged back and gets the offload away. And the referee, in fact, is going to come back for a penalty here. He called held before the offload. So York with an opportunity to clear their lines. Dagger, oh, straight through the line. Jodie Dagger through, takes on Ebony Stead, who gets across and brings her down, but it's going to be another penalty for a high shot. So York again with a piggyback upfield, but electric from Jodie Dagger through the gap there.
And that's what we talk about her playing in that 9 role. When she sees something, she is going to go and she's going to put her foot down and get York some really good meters there. So
York already up towards halfway, and it is Dagger again, who drifts in at dummy half. Maybe just a warning shot from her. Leeds might be looking to just shut that gap between A and B defender. Up a little bit more now after that.
I think Leeds were a little bit confused on how they'd given the ball away there, so then take a couple of tackles to reset, but we'll see now.
A good couple of defensive efforts there from Leeds, restricting any kind of York progress. 2 tackles in a row. Dagger now brings us out to the right-hand side. Here's Andrade cutting back in, brushes off 1 tackle, still going. Savannah Andrade stopped eventually on the 40, but that's just put some life into this set from a York perspective. Got them on the front foot. Oh, another big contact. Just about on the legal side of the horizontal, says the referee. Williamson will put the ball in the air. It's not gone very far, but it has gone up, and Beaver spills it. So
there's 2 knock-ons first by Leeds.
Another set for York. Just on a little bit of a roll here with back-to-back penalties and then the Leeds error.
Yeah, I think York are wanting to flex the muscles a little bit now. They've got into the Leeds half. They're wanting to show that they've got a little bit of flair, and they want to play those +1s and those line balls from their really electric edge.
Heading for the Georgie, thank you. Yeah, ball in.
So Tamsin Renouf will feed the scrum. They've taken it in the centre. They'll come out to the right-hand side and straight away up over the 20. Dagger in at dummy half, comes short side. Renouf. Ebony Partington into the line from full back. She stopped 15 metres away. Now Andrade. Oh, it was a flat ball from Savannah Andrade to Liv Wood, and she can't take it in, and Leeds survive.
Yeah, I think Leeds got away with one there, you know. York really wanted to post some points in it, but, you know, Leeds' defence stood up strong and it was really good.
So both teams coming up with handling errors in the last few minutes.
There you go. Thank you very much.
Should talk about the effort that you've made to be here as well today, Kelsey. You were playing about 2 hours ago, weren't you?
Yeah, for the Huddersfield Giants, making my debut and just having a really good time. You know, we got a really good scoreline against Barrow, and everyone's happy over at Huddersfield today.
It does feel, speaking to people in and around the Betfred Women's Super League, Huddersfield very much seen as kind of the next cab off the rank, and the next ones to join this top 4 and turn it into a top 5.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I think they've had some just sad results this year, you know, results where they probably could have got some points. And
high shot comes in on Bella Sykes, so that will be a penalty. Both teams already just probably a few too many lines in the penalty count box. Coaches will want to cut that out as the game goes on.
Yeah, and I think that Women's Super League's made a real shift to make sure that we're taking out those contacts with the head this year. Just can't happen.
So Leeds up over halfway. Bruce will bring us to the left-hand side. Just a little bit one up for the time being from Leeds, but possibly the plan to just keep things tight for the time as things progress throughout this first half. Bruce again in at dummy half out to Mel Howard. Keeps it in hand. She had Ebony Stead just out the back there as a potential option, but decided to just keep things simple. Now Walker brings us out to the right-hand side. Williamson eventually does make a tackle. Still a few more left in this set for Leeds. Walker, short ball from to Bella Sykes, who does a really good job actually. Took that ball up off her knees and still managed to keep hold of it in contact. Howard stabs another one of those tricky grubber kicks through. It's gone to ground, and we are back to 0. Goes to ground again. I think we're going to come back
it's going to be a Leeds scrum.
For the error from the scrum. We are all a little bit messy there, but that grubber kick from Mel Howard again causing some problems.
Yeah, she's really testing that left edge, you know. She's got a great kicking game and she's really trying to see where we can go. I think they're really testing piece on this edge, and they've come up with the goal this time.
So it will be a Leeds scrum, left-hand side of the posts. Only Liv Whitehead on the left-hand side of the ball, so that would suggest, well, we went left and right and then left again there off the back of that Ruby Bruce. A little bit of indecision, eventually brought down 8 metres away.
Go, Sav, you've got to be quicker, please.
Leeds just edging themselves ever closer to the line.
Line. Wait, go to.
Now they'll come to the right-hand side of the sticks, just shifting the point of attack a little bit. Ruby Bruce in again at hooker.
Wait, go 3.
Short side ball. Walker steps inside, could be through. York able eventually to just shut things down, and then an error in the tackle. So York survive.
Scrum.
And both teams might just feel like they've left a few points out there in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah, I think Ruby was in two minds there, whether to offload the ball or to keep hold of it, and York have managed to dislodge it, and York will just want to get out of their own half. They've weathered a bit of a storm here, and I think both teams have been a little bit more cautious, depending on the weather conditions and things like that, to try and just feel out a bit of the game.
Well, it was Georgie Dagger again who got across to make the tackle. We've said her name a few times already this afternoon, having a real impact on this game for the Valkyrie.
Yeah, she's been brilliant. I think she's really important to have in that middle spine, and with the absence of Sinead Peet, she's going to be really important today to get them going forward.
Unless it's Ellie going off. Right, yeah.
So Ellie Williamson is down in back play for York, which is the cause of this delay, just receiving a little bit of treatment.
Looks like a little bit of a hand issue, maybe.
Yeah, I think she's just getting some. Yeah, just getting a couple of fingers strapped together.
Bit of strapping and a paracetamol.
Yeah, the magic spray.
The magic water.
Looks like she's all right to carry on. Which is good news from a York perspective. We can just see what happens. Looks relatively innocuous, maybe just something that happened a couple of tackles previous, as York now start the job of digging themselves out from their own 10-metre mark, having survived that attack from the Rhinos. Up to the 20-metre mark they come. Dagger again at hooker, brings us out to the right-hand side. Andrade was on a crash ball, but didn't make it that far out.
Leeds' defence has stuck really well today so far. And it's probably been one of the maybe a little bit weaker points of this season at points. The defence not being dominant enough, but being really great today so far.
Well, I think both teams will be relatively pleased with the defensive efforts, won't they? Given the fact there has been errors and penalties, the fact that it is only a 6-point game after 21 minutes is testament to the fact that both teams have fronted up pretty well.
100%. I think both packs are wanting to front up and come out on top, and so far it's a really even match.
York, the first team to rotate from the bench. Zoe Hornby on in place of Liv Wood. There's going to be a penalty for Leeds here, just too much going on the floor. Tamsin Renouf incredulous, but the referee's decision is made, so Leeds have an opportunity to march themselves up towards York's half.
Time off, no ball.
We'll just wait for a ball to make its way onto the field, which it now has, so Bruce will get us back underway. Lucy Murray started that carry from deep. She's met well in the end by Tamsin Renouf.
Go, play on, one.
And
second.
Leeds still in their own half.
Wait there, go to the...
Bruce brings us out to the right-hand side to Bella Sykes, who's had another really good season after kind of bursting onto the scene last year. Walker, short ball from her. Leeds making some decent progress up that right-hand side now. Up towards the 30, still a couple of tackles in hand, so maybe an opportunity here to get themselves into an attacking, kicking position. York's defence doing a decent job of that occasion, though, just shutting Ella Donnelly down. So this is the last. It comes out to Walker again, who again puts it along the floor. And Partington can't bring that in cleanly. Another really awkward one to deal with. And
Where do you want it?
Mel Howard, in fact, it's
Where
her
do you want
kicking game that's causing all sorts of problems, isn't it, at the
That's
moment?
what I was going to say. You know, her kicking game is really causing him some headaches in the back three there. They've clearly done their homework on the back three, and they're having really trouble.
Goal line. Thank you.
Really uncharacteristic from Ebony as well.
Took a real horrible spin just before it got to Partington. Really clever kick. Great ball control.
That's fine.
From Mel Howard. So Leeds now just 3 metres away from the York line.
Wait. Go on.
Sensing more points could be on offer. Here's Sykes. She'll
Second.
throw a dummy and then
Zoe now.
throw a pirouette in there as well. Eventually brought down 5 metres away from the line. Out we come to the left-hand side. Howard keeps it in hand, then checks back to the right. Still going, Howard. Brings us away.
That's fine, clear, that's clear.
To Walker, and Leeds could be over here. I think they are. Try scored. And I'm just trying to see who it is in that collection of bodies. I think it might be Donnelly who's crashed over on that short ball. So Leeds.
Shannon Brown crashed over for Leeds there. Number 11.
Yeah. I did, but
Yeah, it is Shannon Brown who's gone over on that crash ball.
she's not fully lost the leg.
So Leeds have their second of the afternoon.
No, when it's much like swing. Yeah, I don't think it's that.
The Valkyrie again with some work to do underneath their sticks. We see it again. It's Howard who comes to the left. Andrade couldn't quite wrap her up as she cuts back in. It's the short ball. Walker does well, and yeah, Shannon Brown shrugs off 3 or 4 Valkyrie defenders to dot down over the line. And in a game that's swung one way and then the other with errors and penalties, you feel like already a 10-point lead, potentially 12, could be significant.
Yeah, I think from a Leeds perspective they'll be really happy with that, because they probably haven't been at their best and they really have been filling out this game. But when they've got into York's 10-20 metres, they've really come up trumps and they've done some really good stuff. On the other hand, York, they will not be happy with that. You know, they do pride themselves on being tough and being dominant in this really important channel, and they will not be happy with giving away a try like that.
So Howard going through a kicking routine, steps up, strikes it. Looks good from here, touch judges agree. So Leeds move out to a 12 points to nil lead. First roll of the dice from the bench as well. From Lois Forsell, Kira Bennett on to replace Ruby Bruce.
It was really good link-up play there between the 6 and the 7. You know, they were both running the same kind of lines, linking up with each other, shows that they've got a really good relationship.
Change for York as well. Rhiannon Marshall into the fray, replacing Izzy Brennan. So both sides bringing on some pretty heavy hitters. We spoke about that bench interchange before the game. It's Rhiannon Marshall who gets us back underway by putting boot to ball. Both coaches just changing things up a little bit as we hit the 26-minute mark.
And Rhiannon Marshall, captain today, you know, she's a tried and tested player. She's fantastic. She can change a game, so I think York bring her wrong now. They'll want to really post some points against Leeds.
Yeah, we see it so often, don't we? Rhiannon Marshall coming off the bench and just changing the tone of a game. And Leeds again getting away on the left-hand side. Here's Caitlin Beavers, just checks back in to keep herself away from the sideline. Looking for a quick play. Kira Bennett in a dummy half for her first involvement of the afternoon. This is Ruby Walker bringing us out to the right-hand side.
4, off the ball, Ellie! Go forward.
Bennett goes left and then checks back onto the short side. This is the last, so perhaps another opportunity to try and cause some problems with the kick. It is Howard again, and again it goes across the floor. Lucy Murray manages to get a boot to it. Lakuru has to go backwards and she's going to be forced over her own goal line. And yet again it is that 5th tackle option that York are really struggling to deal with. Yeah,
they're really struggling at this point. I think there needs to be a little bit more of a conversation maybe between the back three about how they're going to combat these kicks. And I think Leeds they're turning the screw now. You know, 25, 30 minutes into the half, they're really turning the screw. So we're just going to take a break for an injury.
Ebony Partington receiving a little bit of treatment. She's had a tough afternoon already. The York fullback having to deal with this kicking game of Mel Howard. Just talking things through with the physio and back up on her feet, which is good to see. So it looks like she'll be all right to carry on. So it will be a dropout.
Top side, stay on here.
For the Valkyrie.
Got 10.
Which comes out to the left-hand side, spinning her out all over the place. Beavers brings it in and just goes to ground
Hold.
To secure the ball. And now the Rhinos can have another crack at this York line. Northrop first to have a go. She stopped 15 metres away. Bennett in at dummy half. She brings us out to Bella Sykes.
That's clear, 2, still 2.
Brown could be through again. I think she may have scored here. Oh, referee says she's just held up, but another really good line from Shannon Brown, and York survived by the skin of their teeth on this occasion.
I think that's definitely a warning shot, you know, to York, that if you do not get up and get around Shannon Brown, she's going to punish you.
Go for.
So Leeds still with ball in hand.
Short 5. Move.
Just short on that occasion.
Right there. Go last.
It was Nuttall who was having a crack at the line. Comes out to left-hand side. Kick comes through again, not dealt with. There's a few Leeds players offside here. We're going to come back for another dropout. There's a bit of confusion on both teams there. You see Brown again.
Stay behind it.
Oh, just held up. It's a really good effort in the end by that scrambling defence from York. That dropout takes a bounce.
Play on. Going for the ball.
Howard on hand to just mop it up. Difficult one that for Bella Sykes, who was tracking backwards, but Leeds have been forced back towards their 30. Andrade goes hunting, finds Izzy Northrop, good contact.
Wait here, don't go early. Hold, go.
So progress limited for Leeds in this set. Here's Howard out to the right-hand side to Sykes. Sykes is stopped on the 20.
Hold. Go 3 on the foot, that's fine. Play on. That's
Howard,
fine.
short ball.
4. Move south.
Izzy Northrop again.
Hold.
Almost breaking through the line, but stopped.
You got back square, that's fine. Tackle 4.
They'll come short side. Lucy Murray's through. Can she apply the finish? Yes, she can. What a line that is from Lucy Murray. Slices through the York defence, and Leeds have their third try of the afternoon.
This left-hand edge for Leeds is really, it's a force to be reckoned with. They've got strike power wherever they go. They've got Mel Howard kicking behind the ball. They've got Lucy Murray running really fantastic lines there. That was a great line and great finish as well.
She timed that to absolute perfection, hasn't we? We can see on the replay Howard up to the line, and the way Murray just finds that outside shoulder to cut through.
Yes, that was a brilliant finish there from Lucy Murray. Really fantastic line.
Thanks, Eddie.
So Leeds push out to a 16-0 lead with the kick to come. Mel Howard being pretty spot on with the boot so far this afternoon. This is her most challenging effort, you would think, from the tee so far. As we approach the half-an-hour mark, Lewis Forsell will be very pleased with the way that her team have turned the screw. So Howard again just works through a kicking routine. Just taking the time over this one. Difficult conditions for place kicking this afternoon. Steps up, strikes it well, bending round, looks good, is good. Leeds move out to an 18-0 lead here at AMT Headingley. And they'll be very pleased with the way that they have taken control of this game with half an hour gone.
Sam, just make sure you're on goal line. So you're saying you're tapping in front of the post, so you don't have to get the back foot on the goal. Yeah. Cheers. All good. Stay behind it, top side, time you run. Stay on here. When you're ready, Rhiannon.
And it's interesting, we had a period, probably the first... Oh, now that's a win for York. That ball will come back to them after going out into touch. I was just about to say, we had a period probably for the first 15 minutes, 20 minutes of this game where we were looking left and right a lot. York had plenty of territory. That's not been the case for the last 10 minutes. Leeds have made it count with points, but this is a golden opportunity now for the Valkyrie to work themselves back into this game. Isabel Bibby onto the field as Andrade shrugs off a couple of tackles.
Yeah, and Isabel Bibby, she's a really great player. You know, any bit of space around that ruck, she's going to go and jump and I think inject some pace into this York side because, like you say, last 10 minutes they have been under the pump a lot.
So Bibby straight into the action, brings us out to the left-hand side to Williamson.
Move it the line, Shannon Wellermore. Hold.
Sexton eventually stopped on the 20. She'll play the ball to Bibby, and Zoe Hornby will have a go at just trying to crash through. She is wrapped up, but even on one leg manages to make a few more metres. So York in striking distance for the first time in a long time in this game. Here's Renouf. The pass is slightly behind Partington, who has to check back in. Does well in the end, the York fullback, to keep in possession. This is the last, so an opportunity to see what York can do with their kicking game. Perhaps they're going to roll the dice. Lakuru stabs a grubber through, and
it wasn't played at, but Mel's second it dead. It didn't bounce dead, it's a dropout.
It's going to be a dropout. That ball just sat up from that grubber kick, and it's Mel Howard who's taken it out.
A little bit
Lakuru stabbed it through.
Winger as well.
Yeah, just rolled the dice and came up trumps in the end because it wasn't a guarantee that that ball was going to go out. Mel Howard just taking the safe option. But it will be a repeat set for the Valkyrie. So Williamson takes it in over her head and returns up towards the 20. York, who were desperate for just a little bit of momentum in this game, maybe sensing that points may be on offer here for the first time this afternoon. Bibby brings us to Marshall, inside ball to Partington, who I just don't think she was on the same page.
No, I don't think Ebony was expecting that ball. She was probably expecting it to go to an edge somewhere, but now Leeds will get another chance to get down and post some more points. York will really want to finish well this set. They'll want to really flex the muscles and get a good bit of defence in the way.
For the first time in a while that Leeds have had the job of coming out of yardage, and it's Beavers who will be the first cab off the rank to try and get them away from their own line. Now Lucy Murray, who's been lively as ever, scoring that third try, of course. Bennett to Glynn onto the field.
Move. Go line, wait. Red line, sorry. Wait. Go free. 4.
Lacey Owen and Kaya Glynn on for Leeds now.
Wait, go for.
Replacing Izzy Northrop.
40.
And Shannon Brown. So that kick again turns the York back free around again. Partington able to bring it in safely on this occasion, but she's immediately under pressure from the kick chase.
Moving off the mark, shot on her own 10. Markers are good. Second! Oh no!
And York now back.
Wait there, not early. Not early. Go,
in their own 30.
3. Move! Hold. Don't go early.
Williamson
Don't go early. Go for it.
drifts into dummy half, and that brings us out to the right hand side.
4. Kaya, move!
Feel like Leeds will just want to keep control of this game up until the half-time point.
40!
Yeah,
Marshall's put a huge boot to ball there. That has flown, and now is that a 40-20?
Does this go out before or after the 20? Leeds ball. Where do you want it? Turn over.
Just missed out. Really unfortunate.
Maybe inches short. We'll have a look at it again.
Touch is a lot closer than me and you. She reckons it went out before the 20, so
We can have a look at it.
Just
It's a fantastic kick from Marshall. The bounce kicks on. I think the touch judge has just about got that right.
She's in that. But that's what Rhiannon Marshall can do, you know. Flip of a coin, and she does really well. And this is great defence from York.
Yeah, from nowhere, all of a sudden, York have got an opportunity to try and pin Leeds inside their own half.
2, move.
Rhinos up towards the 30. Bennett in at dummy half, brings us out to the left-hand side. Bella Sykes with a strong carry.
Hold. Go, 3, good. It's fine.
She's another player that can do it more than one way. Great with ball in hand, great carrying as well. Got a good passing game. Glynn up towards halfway. Forced backwards.
5.
Combination of Bibby and Hornby.
Hold. Hold. Go last. Not late. Not late. 40.
Kick will come early again. Partington underneath it. Takes it cleanly. Looks to return. Wrapped up by 3 Leeds defenders. Renouf. She'll bring us out to the left.
2.
York already up to halfway.
Ebony will be really happy with that because she's had a couple of difficult balls, and just to get a clean pick up and to get on her way, just settle the ship a little bit.
Well, she had York on the front foot as well, didn't she? Taking it on the full and getting a good speed on the play the ball. This is 6 again, says the referee. Just too much holding down going on. So York just building into this game slowly. They've got a bit of a mountain to climb in terms of the scoreboard, but just starting to find a foothold in this game as we get closer to half-time. Bibby flies out from dummy half.
Second, Kieran
Still plenty of tackles for York to try and make something happen in this set. Andrade still going, eventually brought down. But decent progress made there.
Go 3. Left side, don't go early.
Marshall.
Back.
Pass that just misses everyone, and
4. Move.
Adoa Rakiwu has to do the cleaning up on that occasion, and she's forced backwards. Williamson, I think she's tried to put a kick through there. It takes some deflections and goes into touch.
Not played at.
The referee says not played at. So it's going to be Leeds ball.
It's not played at, it's in touch off York.
And that is maybe just one of the differences between the two teams at the moment, is that Leeds on their fifth tackle options have been very, very good. York just struggling a little bit to make things happen at the end of sets.
Yeah, it feels like their spine might be a little bit disjointed there, you know, communication-wise about what the plan is on the fifth tackle options and stuff, you know. Rhiannon's got a great kicking game, but somehow the ball was not in her hands on the fifth tackle, and it really should have been.
Oh, now that ball's come forward, and it is an error, says the referee, not a penalty. It will be York scrum, so as we go into the red on the clock,
York head and feed.
Perhaps one more opportunity. 30 seconds, says the referee, to make something happen.
Clock's still running, York.
From a York Valkyrie perspective, and that is going to be even less because the clock is still running here. They're going to do well to get this scrum in. Not a huge amount of sense of urgency, considering that it is ticking down towards half-time. They may get 1-2 tackles in this set. That's a bit of a messy one. And there's an error in there, so nothing comes from it. And in a way, that is the story of the half, isn't it, as we go in at the break?
I would say so, you know, that is the story of York's half, you know, just a little bit not quite on the ball, not quite on the money, the passes. And that's why they're going into the sheds 18-0 down now. So a tough first 40 minutes for the York Valkyrie. Leeds Rhinos will be very pleased with their work here at AMT Headingley. They lead 18 points to 0. The boot of Mel Howard doing a lot of damage. Tries for Ruby Walker, Shannon Brown and Lucy Murray, all converted by Howard. And York unable to find any points of their own, despite having a few opportunities in decent field position. It's felt like a game that Leeds have had a pretty good chokehold on from about 15 minutes into this first half. So let's just remind ourselves of how things unfolded in the first 40 here at AMT Headingley. And this is the first try of the afternoon, and it is just the invention, isn't it, from Mel Howard that has caused the problems. Yeah, I think she had a brilliant half, hasn't she? The number 6 for Leeds. She's been in everything. Hands on the ball, kicking options fantastic. That was a bit of luck on the first half, but then we found out later on in the half it wasn't luck. Her kicking game has been immense this half.
Yeah, is the reverse angle of it, and that grubber kick that's been causing problems all afternoon, and Ruby Walker able to just get to the ball.
Again,
This is the second, and
ball again. Linking up with Ruby Walker, with Shannon Brown running that line off her. You know, she's a really powerful player. She will punish you.
And then this third one, all about the running line from Lucy Murray. In fact, this is the Brown one again. Howard does really well, rides a pretty heavy hit before getting the ball away. Brown able to
really
crash over.
Play there from Brown. And this one with Lucy Murray running a fantastic line. I think York were a little bit on the back pedal on that edge D, and they didn't really know which option was going to run. Even though initially they got the numbers, Lucy Murray's ran a fantastic line there, and it just shows that the relationship, the communication between those two players is fantastic.
So Leeds 18, York Valkyrie 0 at the break here at Headingley. And of course, we've all got eyes on semi-finals next weekend, but Leeds at the moment will be taking plenty of confidence into the knockout stages of the Betfred Women's Super League. Stay with us. We'll be back very, very shortly with the second half here from Headingley.
Gaskin goes in, Gaskin scores again.
And Rhiannon Marshall scores. York hit back.
Ball back on the inside again as Kira Bennett just sidesteps her way in. York collect it, chance for Partington, gets it down. What a kick from Faye Gaskin, that is world class. Look what it means to them. Banks with a sidestep, and there again. This is mesmerising stuff from the Wigan Warriors.
We know we've got the two best teams from the competition.
The history makers, the first women's team to retain their title.
Martin, what's today been all about?
Today is about publicising and drawing attention to what's happening at the stadium behind me on the 25th of October. The first Ashes test. The Ashes are back in Britain for the first time in a long time, and yeah, it's a great opportunity for Sean Wayne and the English team to right some wrongs and to get one over on the Aussies.
And how big this Ashes series be for rugby league?
I think it's massive. It's a great opportunity to get rugby league back on the back pages, back in the psyche of the British sporting public, and it's a chance for some of the current team to write their legacy and create memories for themselves and the British public.
Because this Australian side are the best in the world, aren't they?
Yes, Sean Wayne and the English team, they've won test series against Tonga, against Samoa, both teams laden with NRL players, but we know it's the big one to play against Australia at Wembley. Nothing gets bigger than that for a rugby league player.
Of course, you've played the Australians here as well. You know what it's all about, don't you?
Yeah, I've played against the Australians here. I've won against the Australians. I've created my legacy at this stadium, but it's a chance for another generation to write their legacy and to put themselves in the hearts of the British sporting public. We've got the likes of Julian Nasemba, Jack Wellesby, and many others who have got an opportunity here to create a legacy.
George, I bet you never thought you'd kick a ball here at Tower Bridge.
No, I didn't. It's brilliant actually. I can't believe how busy it is. I know London's known for being busy, but so many people down here, a couple of schools down here, so trying to get amongst it, trying to grow the game, and the 100 days from the Ashes.
That's what it's all about, isn't it? Look, we love rugby league, but we're bringing the game to London, aren't we?
Yeah, that's what I think we're striving to do. We want to tap into new areas, get new generations involved, and I think that's what we're trying to do today. We're down in London. We've done a couple of tours so far. I'm enjoying it. I feel like a little bit of a tourist. But no, it's been good so far, and that's what we're trying to do.
And it's a long time since we've had a series against the Aussies, isn't it?
It's brilliant. I was a kid last time it happened. Showing my age a little bit there. But yeah, I'm 39. It's never been done for a long, long time, for 20 odd years. So some of those plays we're really looking forward to. We know it don't come around often. Hopefully we can replicate it a little bit more. But we're playing against the best nation in the world, and they have been for a long, long time.
And how proud are you going to be walking out that first test at Wembley as well?
It'd be brilliant. It'd be a proud day for myself, my family, and for the group of players. Like I say, we know it's not been common, so whoever's in that shirt have got to make the most of it. I always say playing for England is the pinnacle, but what you just named there, playing against Australia at Wembley, I think that's the pinnacle. That's the top of the top, and if that doesn't get you up for it, then we're in the wrong job.
Welcome back to Headingley Stadium. Leeds Rhinos on their way back out, and with them an 18-point lead against the York Valkyrie, courtesy of tries from Ruby Walker, Shannon Brown and Lucy Murray. And really, Kelsey Gentles Leeds in control for much of that first half.
Yeah, they were, we saw a little bit of a arm wrestle in the middle, but then Leeds really, they capitalised. When they got their opportunities down in York's half, they really took those opportunities and the posted points, whereas on the other hand, York got a couple of opportunities, didn't ice them, and I think at half-time, Lindsay Anfield will be speaking to him quite harshly and saying, you need to score next.
Yeah, just about to say, at risk of stating the obvious, the next try feels so important in this game, because if it is Leeds who score next, you feel like that is probably out of reach for York. If York can strike early on in the second half, then it's game on.
Yeah, I think York will want to score some points next and really keep the ball out of Leeds' control. Like you say, if Leeds score next, I think they'll have some wind in the sails and they'll feel like they're really in control of this match, and that's not what York will want at all.
So York just making us wait, staying in the warm and the dry, the changing rooms for a little bit longer. In fact, here they come out of the sheds with a big job to do. Lindsay Anfield, reigning Betfred Women's Super League champions, back-to-back champs, of course. This game won't have too much impact on whether they can retain that crown. The playoffs are locked in for next weekend, but plenty to play for in terms of local pride, but also confidence, momentum going into those games. Live on Sky Sports next weekend, and then of course the Women's Super League Grand Final. We wait to see exactly where that will be played. But an exciting few months of rugby league on the horizon as we get into playoffs and grand final territory, and Leeds get us back underway here at Headingley. Williamson manages to just knock that ball backwards before cleaning up and giving to Hornby. Comes up over the 20-metre mark. Isabel Bibby has stayed on it. Dummy half, and straight away York get a penalty for the high shot on Agnes Wood. So an early win for the Valkyrie and an opportunity for them to march themselves downfield. Marshall puts another big boxer ball. She's got such a rangy kicking game, hasn't she? Really thumps it downfield, and Andrade takes the first carry up over halfway from the penalty.
Yeah, I think when we talk about kicking games, I think Rhiannon Marshall's probably got one of the best kicking games in the league. She knows where she needs to put it most of the time, and she gets real good field position for York.
It's a Bibby to Marshall, who looks to try and go up the middle in between two Leeds defenders. Bibby again in at acting half, brings us out to the right hand side. This is Tamsin Renouf up over the 30.
Lucy up now.
She'll play the ball to Bibby. Bibby gives it to Wood, who's up over the 20-metre mark. Options on both sides of the ball. This is last. They'll come to the right hand side. Williamson will put a grubber kick through, and she was taken out late, so we will come back for a penalty in the first minute or so of this second half. Very much going the way of the York Valkyrie, but as we see the replay of the, well, it's not the latest from Lucy Murray, but there's not a huge amount of work there to get the arms wrapped around, is it?
No, I don't think she was trying at all. She was maybe just trying to make her presence known, but sometimes it's hard to resist.
It's a big opportunity for York here to get their first try of the game and work themselves back into the contest. 5 metres away from the line. Bibby comes to the left-hand side to Marshall, who just try and do it the direct way over the top. She's held up, so we'll come back for the play the ball. Just a few words being said between the two sides. Plenty of feeling out there in this game. Two teams who know each other very, very well, of course.
A lot of passion. You know, like I said, two top teams in the league. Nobody wants to be leaving. Nobody wants the pride to be hurt leaving Headingley today.
And it just looks like York may still have the riot act ringing in their ears from the half-time break. Already a more positive start to the second half from the Valkyrie than we saw for much of the first. Bibby evades one tackle before eventually being wrapped up 5 metres away. Williamson in, stabs a grubber kick through, takes a bounce, and it's going to be back to 0. Played at, says the referee, so held up over the line, but York will restart with a full set in their pocket.
Yeah, it was a smart little kick there from Ellie to kind of test Leeds' defence, and she got the ball back, and hopefully they can post some points now.
Ellie on the 10. Tackle 1. Time back up.
So Williamson will play the ball on the 10-metre mark. Bibby will bring us out to the right-hand side to Hornby. She's stopped for no real progress.
Go. No touch.
That one just goes through the fingers of Agnes Wood before eventually ended up with Marshall, who loses the ball, but via an illegal strip, says the referee, so it will be a York penalty, so another repeat set, and they really do have to make this count. So Hornby has another crack. 3 Leeds defenders in place to try and stop her. She's forced back 7 metres away from the Leeds line. Bibby short to Marshall, who has already been over the line a couple of times through the offload when it perhaps wasn't on. And the story of the game, really, from your perspective, opportunities killed off by an error.
Really disappointing that, because they have looked like they're most likely to score through Rhiannon Marshall. You know, she threw that warning shot at them, and Leeds, realistically, they had to ball seal there to save a try, and then they've just kind of give away the ball quite cheaply.
And I can completely understand when you've wrapped 3 or 4 defenders up, the desire to get the offload away and try and find the space, but that was early on, and it was only the first tackle of that set.
Yeah, she's lacking a bit of composure there.
Is she injured? No. I'm on it the whole time, Rhiannon.
So Leeds with ball in hand. First time we've said that really in this second half, as Bennett gets us underway, and then there's an offload. Beavers find some space. Andrade does really well to get out and shut her down, and then there's going to be a penalty for a second effort. It's the flop.
They're slapping their energy there, giving away these penalties. It's not what they need. They need to keep down in this half.
And psychologically, from a York perspective, having had 3 repeat sets on the Leeds line to now being marched back upfield with no points in hand, just feel like it could do some damage as Leeds try to work themselves up into the York half. Kira Bennett at dummy half, looks left but comes right.
Zoe, quicker please. Thank you. 3.
Leeds are up to halfway. Pretty simple equation from their perspective in this game now. They just need to stay error-free where they can, and that will help. Another piggyback upfield for the high shot.
The defensive line was all over the place then, you know. Felt like the ruck might be a tidge too fast for them to keep up with.
It was Williamson whose tackle just rid high there on Lacey Owens to lead straight away up to the 30. Bennett to Howard. Howard short ball to Bella Sykes. Sykes is wrapped up well by Andrade, who's another good game defensively.
Yeah, she's been really solid in defence. You know, she's probably saved the edge a couple of times with her contact, and she's been really good today. She's really good every week.
So Howard just checks back on the inside to Sykes, and we're going to just take a break here because we have a head injury.
Yeah, time's off, take time.
Probably the break that York needs to kind of reset the line, get a little bit of composure, get some good chat rooms
just
themselves.
See it again as Howard drops the ball off to, I think it's Agnes Wood who just gets herself, it might even be a little bit of friendly fire, just a accidental cop around the neck.
Other than that,
we'll see it again. Yeah, she just gets sandwiched in between 2 of her own players, Agnes Wood. So just getting some treatment down on the field, going through all the very necessary checks. They'll take as long as they need with this.
4.
But it has just taken the sting out of what was building into a promising set from a Leeds perspective, and may still be.
I'll have a look around it. I didn't see official. I'm trying to focus on
a promising set.
I'll have a look. Yeah. I'll have a look. Of course I will. Yeah.
So Woody's
just on the 10.
Walking off the field to receive further treatment, and Leeds will get us back underway. Dead centre, 10 metres away from the York line, and going after the try that could put this game beyond reach for the away side. So Boyd forced back by 3 York defenders eventually stopped.
Wait there.
This is the last. This is where Leeds have been so dangerous through the boot of Howard, and again it's a really dangerous looking grubber kick, and Ebony Partington, who's had a difficult afternoon, has done really well there.
That was a really fantastic take from Ebony. You know, she caught the ball well. She got out of the dead ball line, and she got him on a good front foot.
That'll do wonders, I'm sure, for her confidence, because I think she'll get a few more of those kicks stabbed through from Mel Howard this afternoon.
She probably needed half-time to come to just reset her mind and reset the composure coming into this second half, and so far so good.
I've just seen another replay there, expertly done on that occasion, and here is Ebony Partington, such a dangerous player when she does get ball in hand, a real weapon coming out of backfield especially. This is the last. Marshall again just puts the driver on the ball, and that takes a bounce, and Ebony Stead will have to track back towards her own 10-metre mark to pick this up. Kick chase is decent from a York perspective as well. Williamson and Sexton in there now, joined by 3 other York players, forcing Ebony Stead back. So again, Rhiannon Marshall's cannon of a boot, winning the Valkyrie some good field position.
Move now!
Rhiannon Marshall probably thinking, Mel, you can do some kicks, I can kick too. Separating the full-back and the winger there expertly.
3, Lisa, move! Tamsin square, good, 3, all good.
Here come Leeds up the middle. Howard's done well actually to bring that ball in, because that was behind her.
Line!
And this is the last, so Leeds up into York territory, but with some work to do here. That kick goes up into the air, takes a horrible bounce. York in the end do manage to wrap it up. Emma Kershaw, that was a tricky one, it was awkward, but York are in possession, and Adora Akiwu is up towards the 30-metre mark, where she'll play the ball to Williamson.
Kershaw did really well to keep hold of the ball there, because there was massive heat there from Leeds.
Well, now that's come loose. Leeds are on the ball. It's then come forward. I think we're going to come back for the first error, so it will be Rhino's ball.
Where do you want it, Mel? 2 knock-ons, first by York, it's a Leeds edit.
Yeah, we'll just see Reduce there, losing that one in the tackle. Under pressure from Kira Bennett.
Yeah, 9's the good there. On the out call! 3, 2, 1, good.
And again, it is just those errors that are punishing the Valkyrie. More than anything, just increasing the amount of defensive work they have to do. With a push in the scrum there, but we are going to come back. Maybe just went slightly early there.
Hands on. Get your head in! Get your head down, Zoe! Ball in!
So we will reset. Again, the push comes in, but Bennett does manage to get it away. Sophie Nuttall tries to get herself into some space, but eventually wrapped up. So Bennett brings us left again to Donnelly, and Leeds could be through here. York's scramble defence is good on that occasion, but the Rhinos rolling forwards again. Howard, Sykes tries to just barrel away through 2 York defenders, eventually brought down 8 metres away from the try line. Howard steps one way, goes herself, now comes back on the inside. Here's Donnelly trying to crash through.
Oh no! Go line. Wait.
Bennett comes left.
5.
Ruby Walker nearly cutting through the line. Stopped 2 metres away. Bennett just stabs a kick through herself, and it's shoveled out of play. And it will be a repeat set for the Rhinos.
Yeah, York did well to keep them out there, because they were running some really great shape at times, and I think they were really lucky there not to post some points and concede, because Leeds were really throwing a lot at them then.
Stay on, time to run. Let's go, Rhiannon.
So here's the break that set that up. It's Donnelly who gets the offload away. Short drop out in the meantime from York. It almost paid off, but Leeds do have ball in hand. So another
Tamsin,
opportunity
move.
for Lewis Fussell's side to
6 again, too slow, Tamsin.
add to their 18-point lead. 6 again, although on first tackle of the set, so no major advantage gained. And
surrender.
that's come forward off the foot.
Stand. He came off his shin soft.
Says Freddie Lincoln. Lee's just working things up the middle, just sharp onto the field. Strong carry from her, takes the big contact and short side ball for Mel Howard to try and find some space, which she nearly does. Stopped 5 metres away from the York line. Bennett leads with all of that shape stacked out to the right. Here's Ebony Stead, she'll step in. Sexton does a good job to get across and shut that down. Leads back out to 20 metres away.
Hold.
York clinging on here at Headingley. Bennett.
5.
Just meters, just a metre away. That's Connie Boyd, who's going to play the ball, almost getting through herself. Ruby Walker brings us left to Howard, who stabs a kick through. A try scored again. Lucy Murray has her second of the afternoon. And Mel Howard's kicking game yet again the difference maker.
They just can't get control of those kicks. You know, she's clearly synonymous at the. She's kicking right behind a defensive line that are shooting out to come and put some pressure on, and she's fantastic at it. Lucy Murray knows exactly where she's going to put it, and well done, Leeds Rhinos. They're picking them apart. You know, they're fantastic at it.
Well, Lucy Murray on the spot to score.
That may have just took the wind out of York's sails.
Yeah, they've done a lot of defending, haven't they, York? They had a really positive start to the second half, but then have been defending again, and to concede there, Lucy Murray's second try of the afternoon just feels like it might be too high a mountain to climb for the reigning champions.
At this moment in the game, you start to feel like it's going to be a bit more difficult to dig yourself out of this hole, and they'll be up together at the moment, having a good team talk and really getting that togetherness, trying to fix up whatever's going wrong on that field.
So Mel Howard, who's been perfect with the boot, both out of hand and from the tee this afternoon, steps up and adds 2 more points to the total.
25 minutes, we've only played 15.
And Leeds Rhinos move out to a 24-0 lead. And they can take a lot of confidence from the first 54 minutes of this game as they go into their semi-final next weekend against Wigan Warriors, who have been the team to beat so far this season.
Cheers.
That game live on Sky Sports from the Brick Community Stadium at 7:30 next Sunday. Before then, York Valkyrie will do battle with St Helens at the Totally Wicked. That's a 5 o'clock kickoff, also on Sky Sports. So that's the bigger picture stuff. That's what both of these teams know they will be going into next week. But here in the last game of the regular season, Leeds Rhinos enjoying themselves now. 55 minutes on the clock, 24-0 up.
I think Leeds will be really confident with this performance. You know, we talked pre-game about getting that confidence, getting that consistency, and this is exactly the kind of game and performance that you'd want going into playing the final, the champions even.
It's interesting, isn't it? Wigan really announced themselves as the team to beat this season, probably in that Challenge Cup semi-final.
Yeah, when they mauled St Helens realistically, you know, St Helens weren't expecting it to be like that. The next games were really competitive, you know. I think Wigan and Saints have been really good class games this year.
But even a couple of weeks before that, when Wigan played Leeds in the semi-final, I think we all watched on and thought that Wigan team were going to be very difficult to beat. Ironically, it's the Valkyrie who proved to us all that it can be done this year.
Yeah, I think the Valkyrie turned up with a game plan and they executed it to perfection. You know, I don't think Wigan were expecting that from them at all, and they got the first loss of the year in the league, and I think maybe they needed that going into this playoff rugby. I don't think it's beneficial to go into it unbeaten, and we'll see what happens in these playoff games.
Yeah, fantastic end to the season on the cards. Of course, the Men's Betfred Super League wrapping up next weekend. We'll have confirmation of our coverage towards the end of the year as well, as York finally finding some space. Emma Kershaw up towards the 30.
Move, make it back!
And of course, that Ashes series on the horizon. Can't wait for that.
4, Kuragans out!
At the end of the year, kicking off at Wembley in a few weeks' time.
4.
Dagger back onto the field for York, plays the ball to the Valkyrie again within striking distance. They've not been able to make anything count so far. They've got one more tackle to try and do so here. Williamson stabs a grubber kick through. That's bounced around all over the place, and it's going to be a penalty for an accidental offside.
Incidental offside, it's a penalty.
Williamson rattled that grubber kick through. It's bounced off Nuttall.
Into I don't think anyone knew where the ball was.
Well, I didn't know where the ball was, that's for sure, but it is now back in the hands of the York Valkyrie, 8 metres away from the Leeds try line. Can they finally make something happen and get themselves on the board here at Headingley? They come out to the right-hand side. Leeds defence on hand to shut things down on this occasion. They'll come short side. This is Renouf trying to muscle her way over, stopped a couple of metres short. Dagger drifts in. She'll look to go herself, and I think she's scored, Jodie Dagger. After all the huffing and puffing and trying to knock the Leeds door down, Jodie Dagger just dives over from dummy half, and Valkyrie are on the board.
I think they needed that. You know, they've worked really hard for it. They've been down in Leeds half a couple of times, and they haven't quite been able to ice it. And Jodie Dagger, she's that player of experience where she knows that if they're not quite set around that ruck, she is going to go and chance her arm. And well done, Jodie Dagger. She gets York on the board for the first time.
And when you look at it again, I actually live thought that the option was to go short side to Lakuru, who had a little bit of space.
Thank you.
Dagger just sensing perhaps a little bit of indecision around the ruck from Leeds' perspective and scoring herself. And York, perhaps slightly too late in the game, are on the board. I say that if they can score the next few minutes, they can go back to back quickly, maybe we are game on.
I mean, there's 20 minutes of this game left. Nothing is settled. If York can use this to then push on and post a couple of more points, this is a game. Leeds will want to score next and resettle that ship that we're flying.
So Marshall with the job of adding the extras. I think distance is going to be, or maybe it does just fall slightly short. It looked on radar. Decent effort from Rhiannon Marshall. Difficult for York this season when you've got Tara Jane Stanley sat in the sidelines all year with injury, such a reliant points machine from the boot, but also such a intrinsic part of the way that they play.
Yeah, definitely. I think everyone thought that she may be back this year with her injury and things like that, and you know it hasn't worked out that way. And I think they've had to re-establish how they're going to play in this latter stage of the Super League. And I think you never want to see good players like that on the sideline. You want to see them on the pitch and creating the magic. And hopefully next year.
Yeah, it'd be great to see her back. Former woman of steel. And Andrade's lost that. She was. Oh, it's not Andrade, sorry, it's Wood. He's lost that in the contact. She was trying to force her way through, but just spills it. So after getting themselves a foothold in this game with scoring, York have opened the door to Leeds. You see it again on the replay. There's Lacey Owen who just wrapped her up, and the referees judged that it was a loose carry rather than a strip. So Leeds with the scrum on the Valkyrie 30-metre mark. Beavers
disappointed they
first move now.
want to keep hold of the ball. Now they've got to defend another set.
Go on. Second. Move now.
So Owen trying to break her way through the York line.
Play on, that's fine too.
Howard just spinning one way and then the other. We've seen her do that a few times this afternoon, just check her around and change the point of attack. It's caused problems at times for York. On this occasion they're level to it.
I think she's always looking for that against the grain play, just to see if anyone's clocked off in defence.
Wait, go.
So Howard.
That's fine, on 4.
She drops it off to Jess Sharp up over the 10-metre mark. This is the last dead centre look for wherever Mel Howard is to suggest where this is going to go, and that is what they do. It's another grubber kick through. Oh, it takes another awkward bounce, and Partington on this occasion is able to just get back and diffuse the danger, but hearts in mouth stuff for a second from a York perspective.
Yeah, definitely. I think she was a bit worried about that when she missed it.
I suppose in a way, from a York perspective, looking ahead to next week,
Let's go.
If there are some positives to take out of this, Lindsay Anfield has a very obvious thing to solve, which is errors. If they can cut that out, they'll be in the game.
Yeah, I think they've given away way too many unforced errors. The 5th tackle options.
Oh, well, we're going to come back for a penalty here. There was certainly
another one.
No love lost in that contact. We'll see it again.
Jess Sharp against her old club.
It's 2 right in front of me, Rhiannon.
She gets it twice, doesn't she?
Rhiannon Marshall.
Not when it's contact with Rhiannon. You know the rules as well as I do.
Not a position that anyone wants to be in.
There's a little bit of frustration there from York, you know, conceding another penalty.
First.
They were disappointed there.
Move. Hold.
So Bruce back onto the field at dummy half, brings us out to the left-hand side. Could be some space on for Leeds, but that ball's gone to ground, and it will be York back in possession. So
move, Mal.
Leeds unable to make anything of that penalty. We're just going to stop here because got a player coming off for a head injury. It is Jess Sharp who hasn't recovered from that Rhiannon Marshall bell ringer. Just see there York regaining possession. Tamsin Renouf on the spot to clean things up for the Valkyrie. And the way that these two defences are flying in, you wouldn't guess that with 16 minutes left in a game that doesn't really have any impact on the league table.
No, you wouldn't. You'd think that they were playing for a League Leading Shield, the way they're throwing the bodies at each other. But I think York are playing for some pride now. You know, they are the champions. They don't want to go out on the last regular game of the season like this. They want to post some more points to flatten the scoreline a little bit for Leeds, because right now it's not looking very good.
Well, here's Tara Moxon into the fray for the first time this afternoon against her old club, and Dagger now tries to cut her way through the Leeds line, eventually wrapped up. Renouf at acting half brings us out to Williamson, who puts the ball on the ground. It was the pass was around her shins. She can't bring it in cleanly.
No, but you were gonna. Did you know you were gonna drop it?
We see it again.
They can't know she's going to knock it off.
It's Lucy Murray, who has gone hunting a few times on those last tackle plays after Ellie Williamson. Just enough pressure to force the error.
Understood her assignment there to put the pressure on the kicker on the last. Just disappointing end to the set for York.
Yeah, she's had a good game, Lucy Murray. 2 tries to her name, and as we've seen there, a few efforts in defence as well that have earned her team some possession as the wind whips around Headingley.
Too slow.
6 again. Too slow, and it's Ruby Bruce who jumps out from dummy half and comes up towards the 30-metre mark. Howard leads out to the right-hand side with Connie Boyd up over the 30. Boyd. Ruby Bruce in at dummy half. Left to Ruby Walker. No major progress made in those last couple of tackles from a Leeds perspective as Shannon Brown plays the ball. Now they look for some space out on the right-hand side, but Andrade again, very good in defence to get out to Bella Sykes and shut that move down.
Release! She's a lot of resting in the tackle.
And now they'll come down the short side. Howard, dummy, then shrugs through a couple of tackles, eventually brought down. This is the last, and Howard's playing the ball, so the kick won't come from her. Bruce will just run herself. Lucy Murray for the hat-trick. Scores on the left-hand side. We weren't sure what they were going to do on that final play. without the boot of Mel Howard available, well, the answer is they'll just keep the ball in hand, and Lucy Murray slices through for a hat-trick.
I think that right side it's really struggled today to contain Lucy Murray. She's had a fantastic game on that edge. You know, she's been great in defence, she's been great on the edges, running that tackle, and she deserves a hat-trick today for her efforts.
We'll see it again. Bruce brings us one side, and she just times the run so well, doesn't she, Lucy Murray? It causes problems for the defenders because they haven't got a huge amount of time to react when she's coming onto the ball.
She had a nomination for Woman of Steel last year, and I think she won't be far out getting nominated again with the performances this year, especially with these latter performances the past few weeks. Today especially, she's been very good.
I tell you what, that's going to be a difficult one, isn't it, for the panel this year?
Yeah,
Woman of Steel. There's a lot of contenders and players as well that have burst onto the scene that perhaps weren't particularly in the conversation in the frame last year.
I think Wigan, you know, last year, everyone knew that they had fantastic players. Everyone knew they was investing in their academies and things like that. Maybe people didn't expect them to be as good as they were this year, and I think there's a lot of them players, you know.
Oh, it's another really good kick. That's going to be in there
for the Woman of Steel award.
From Mel Howard.
I couldn't call it, that's for sure. It's a brilliant kick there from Mel Howard as well. Just to top up the score to 30.
Superb with the boot, 100% record. Ruby Bruce. And just a little bit of disconnect between Renouf and Peace Kuru opens up the gap for Lucy Murray, who doesn't need too much of an invitation to go through and score her third try
Stay behind. Let's go,
of the afternoon. So Williamson will get us back underway. It's a short kick-off, nearly takes the referee's head off, but then goes into touch. So it will be York ball.
50.
Freddie Lincoln, our ref, he did a good job there, getting himself out of the way of that.
Marcus Leeds.
I'm sure it wasn't personal.
Bring it up here,
And we will come back for
a
York scrum. And really, as we enter the last 11 minutes or so of this game, they are playing for some confidence, playing for some positives to take into that game against St Helens next week. Dagger to Williamson, who will just keep ball in hand and try and find a half gap to break through, which isn't on offer.
York will be trying to find some harmony here in the spine to try and find some way to post some points, thinking ahead to next week, playing St Helens.
Move! Hold!
So we'll place the ball.
4. Move, Shadow!
Agnes Wood then follows up with a carry of her own up towards the 12-metre mark. Is Renouf out the back to Partington, who tries to step through a half space, eventually wrapped up 7 metres away, hand in the air from the referee. So one more opportunity. I think Dagger's just going to try and go herself again. Has she done it? Held up, says the referee.
Disappointing.
Just looked for a second as if lightning had struck twice. Georgie Dagger going out over from dummy half, but we'll see again. I think Howard's just done enough to hold that up. She's been everywhere, hasn't she? With and without the ball, Mel Howard having a huge impact on this game. So 10 minutes to go here at Headingley. Leeds carrying out of their own half, but a 26-point lead keeps the equation pretty simple, although they have lost the ball there. So York given another opportunity perhaps to put some late points on in this game. We're back to the 10-metre mark where we were just a few tackles ago. Georgie Dagger in at dummy half. Will she fancy it again? Just the short ball right on this occasion to Wood, who's stopped 4 metres away.
Hold.
Dagger out to Renouf. Renouf steps back in.
3. Move.
Conditions very, very tricky. The goalposts are swaying in the wind. Here Dagger goes again. So dangerous, isn't she? From the base of the ruck. Big ball over the top into the hands of Lakuru, who can score in the corner. Peace Lakuru is over.
And the referee awards the try, and it may only be consolation for York, but some reward for a few attacking sets on the Leeds line.
Yeah, I think they put on really good pressure there. I think Georgia Dagger has really injected herself into the game, and whenever she's jumped and gone, the Leeds defence have been worried, and that's kind of opened up the space for the edge to then go. That was really great contact.
The turnover, it's 4 players in on Connie Boyd that forces it. That's what earns them the field position to have the crack at the Leeds line, and it's a good ball over the top actually from Renouf. Perhaps not the intended target, takes almost a deflection into the hands of Peace Lakuru, but she is able to dot down in the corner. There you go, there's the wind that we're dealing with here at Headingley, so this won't be an easy conversion. If anything, the conditions have made Mel Howard's performance with the boot even more impressive.
Yeah, she's been great. You know, in not the best conditions for a kicker today, she's really shown how good she is and how confident she is as well today, because, you know, sometimes it's easy for a player to go into the shell and play a bit more conservatively. But she's really showed her arm today, that she's one of the halfbacks of the league that's really one to watch in these playoff finals.
Just pushed to the left-hand side of the sticks from the boot of Brennan, so it will stay. Leeds 30, York Valkyrie 8. See it again, Renouf just stretching that Leeds defence out line, and Peace Lakuru, who you mentioned earlier, really is one of the great success stories of this Betfred Women's Super League campaign.
Yeah, absolutely.
First, off the leg,
able to score in the corner.
Leg pull. You know what he did? The first one's a leg pull, you flick the ankle.
I think York are really always looking to be innovative and looking for different ways to bring, excitement to the Super League, and she's a really massive success story. And then she's doing really well, and her efforts have been paid off today with a try.
And then a penalty, so York with the opportunity here to finish with a flourish, perhaps take some confidence into those semi-finals next weekend.
Mel, come on.
Back-to-back Betfred Women's Super League champions, of course, so I'm sure they'll have something to say about how this season finishes. But we've spoken about the emergence of Wigan. It is so good to have such a competitive top 4, which is hopefully going to expand into a really competitive top 5 and 6 as the game progresses. I know your Huddersfield side, Kelsey, with big ambitions to get themselves up to that level.
Yeah, they really do, and I've loved my time at Huddersfield so far. I think they're really ambitious. We've got some really great players, and I hope hopefully next year is going to be the year that we really emerge into the Super League and challenge that top 4 team to make it a top 5, especially in a World Cup year.
Go free.
Yeah, so much to look forward to. As Beavers, great to see her back from injury in the commentary box with us a couple of weeks ago, of course, but back where she belongs on the field now. She'll play the ball.
Go for legs are all tangled.
Pretty central, so Bruce has got options on both sides. She'll go left. Huge shot. Too much of a huge shot. It was Andrade who went flying after Bella Sykes and just left a little bit too much in that tackle, and we've come back for a penalty.
Probably needed to lower it maybe quite a couple of centimetres, but great contact.
She's done that all afternoon, hasn't she, defensively, but just...
She's been very solid for them today.
A bit too solid on that occasion.
Maybe a little bit of frustration.
Leeds with an opportunity to build some pressure on this York line. Bruce comes left. Manages to find some space herself. She had Lucy Murray on her shoulder, who was looking perhaps for a 4th try of the afternoon. Now they come right. Here's Emily Stead. Tara Moxon does really well to read that and jump out, shut it down. Bruce again. Comes right to Ruby Walker. Connie Boyd tries to crash her way over, stopped just a few metres away. Still tackles in hand for Leeds.
That's gone along the floor, and Mel Howard will just have to track back and clean things up and then try and engineer something herself. Still going, Mel Howard. Remarkable effort, really, where she picks up the ball to shrug off a few defenders. This is the last. Howard is playing the ball, so it's Walker on kicking duty, and I think Williamson has spilt that. She has. So it will be a lead scrum and an attacking position.
That's really disappointing from York. You know, they probably feel like they can't get any luck at this moment in time, because every time the ball leaves the boot of a Leeds player on the 5th tackle, it just seems like they're getting the ball back.
It's a dual threat, isn't it, in the halves at Howard and Ruby Walker, who've worked really well together on both sides of the ball this afternoon. Just creates that little bit of uncertainty from a defensive perspective. Kelsey, I'm going to give you a minute or so. I'd like you to think of your Betfred player of the match this afternoon. Definitely a few candidates to pick from. Been some really strong performances from this Leeds side out there. Here's one of them, Howard, out the back to Stead, and just a bit too much on that ball for Liv Whitehead to be able to bring in cleanly.
I think even though that set didn't end very well for Leeds, I think they've really set the stall out today going into these semi-final playoffs that they do want to play. And I think Leeds Rhinos is a team that never go away. You never can discount them, even if they don't have the most consistent year. And I think today they're showing that they're finding form right at the right time.
I'm sure Dennis Betts will be watching on, the Wigan coach, as Moxon makes some progress for York up towards halfway.
You good now? You good now?
Dagger. Brennan up over the halfway line into Leeds territory.
2, Lucy, move up square.
York do look a more dangerous, more direct side, don't they, when Georgie Dagger is on the field, whatever position that is in.
Yeah. I think she's really good at getting her troops where they need to be and communicating with the spine really well, and I think...
Oh, now Andrade's away. Fantastic break from Andrade. Can she go the distance? This could be the try of the afternoon if she finishes it, and she does. What an effort that is from Savannah Andrade. Just bumping off defenders left and right and then turning on the gas to score. And even though only a consolation, she'll be very pleased with that.
Yeah, I think she deserves that today for her efforts. She's been really solid defensively. She's probably saved York a couple of times on that edge with her defence and stuff, and that's what she gets for it. That's a reward.
We'll see it again on the replay. She flies onto the short ball from Renouf and just shrugs off a few defenders. And then the speed, the turn of pace there.
Just
not bad at all for a second row, is it?
She can move for a second rower.
So whilst we've got this little break in the game, whilst we wait for the conversion, Kelsey, go on, give us your Betfred player of the match.
My Betfred player of the match today is Mel Howard. I think she's had a hand in everything, really. I think that her kicking game's been immense today, and even her passing and a direction, working with Ruby Walker, I think she's just been fabulous.
Yeah, difficult to argue with that. Mel Howard has had her fingertips on everything good from a Leeds perspective. That kicking game, both from hand and from the tee, so disruptive, and a big reason as to why Leeds have put 30 points on the board this afternoon. Izzy Brennan with an opportunity to add 2 more for York, and does so on this occasion. And that will be that here at AMT Headingley Stadium. Brings the curtain down on the regular season in the Betfred Women's Super League. Attentions turn to the semi-finals next weekend, live over with our friends at Sky Sports. And this performance this afternoon, Kelsey, will give Leeds a lot of confidence that they can go and cause what would be an upset, but certainly have a big part to play in these semi-finals.
Yeah, 100%. I think Wigan will be watching this game today and they'll be thinking, well, we need to really be at our best next week against Leeds if we want to get to that grand final. And so they should, because this Leeds team, they can go all the way if they can play like that.
York came on stronger in the last 15-20 minutes of that game. and they'll feel that they left some points out there, considering the errors in good ball and mistakes at key times. Mentioned it slightly earlier. I suppose what Lindsay Anfield will look at that and think is, well, we know what we have to fix.
Yeah, definitely. I think it'd be interesting to see the error count from York today, because they have turned the ball over quite a lot of times, and probably if you cut out those errors, cut out those mistakes, it probably would have been a different game here today. They've shown in the last 15 minutes that they can play and they can post points, but next week they've got to go into playoff rugby, and playing like that with errors like that, it's just not going to win you a grand final.
So let's have a look back on how the action unfolded here in the second half. This is again the boot of Mel Howard, and Lucy Murray so dangerous on that left-hand side.
Yeah, they've got a really good relationship, clearly. You know, she knows exactly where Mel's going to put it behind the defensive line, and she managed to finish it well.
And this is York just striking back, perhaps a glimmer of hope at this point when Georgie Dagger just jumps over the top and scores.
It never looked like Georgie wasn't going to jump there. You know, she was determined and she wanted to get a team on the board, and it just showed that the heart and the passion to try and get a bit of oomph and inject a little bit of pace into this York side, and she was rewarded for her works.
And then again, really, errors just allowing Leeds to come back up the other end of the field, and Lucy Murray again on hand, just sitting on Ruby Bruce's shoulder, timing her run to perfection and scoring on that corner again. Maybe
a little lapse in judgment there from York. You know, Mel Howard had already finished with the ball and was playing it, so they wasn't expecting that kick, but Leeds clearly have got the strike power that they can really score from anywhere, and Lucy Murray finishes it off brilliantly. And then Peacock going over in the corner after a long ball over the top from Renouf, and again, and I suppose another reason for positivity from a York perspective. Yeah, it was good to see some backline play from York, because we didn't get to see much because of the errors and things this afternoon, and it was good to see him work that edge and Peace get that break. But this was great from Tara Moxon when she came onto the field. She really did get him on the front foot here, and that really allowed for Savannah Andrade to then finish the game off well. Yeah, a really great individual
strong carry from Moxon sets this up from Andrade. This is, albeit in a losing effort, undoubtedly the try of the afternoon.
Yeah, this is textbook Savannah Andrade as well. You know, she's worked her socks off today in defence. She's really saved them on the edge at times, and that was a reward for all her hard work. She really deserved it, and it was a really great try. Yeah, came onto the ball like a train and then did well to finish it. She had a lot of work to do there, Savannah Andrade. But it is Leeds who have won here at AMT Headingley Stadium, 30 points to 14 against the York Valkyrie, and we can head pitch side now to get the views from losing head coach Lindsay Anfield.
Lindsay, unfortunately it's not the result that you was after today. Where do you think that you guys lost it out there?
Oh, you know, credit to Leeds. I just thought they played the conditions far better than we did. First 20 minutes, just errors, not controlling the ball. Everything we probably spoke about this week. We didn't execute today, but good learning for us. We'll have some good footage going into next week.
You named there's a few things there that you felt let your side down, but what frustrated you the most about the game?
What frustrated me the most? Yeah, obviously playing the conditions, but for me, the body language, the lack of heart, the line speed wasn't there. A lot of things that we pride ourselves on, we just didn't do today. Some of them have got to look in the mirror in terms of, like I say, the mental toughness and how they deal with adversity, because it was poor today.
Yeah, well, you've got a week to change all that round. You play Saints in the playoffs next week. Good luck for that.
Thank you. Cheers.
Thank you.
Some interesting comments there about the mindset of her team from Lindsay Anfield. I think that changing room might be an interesting place after the game, based on what we've just heard from the York Valkyrie head coach. Certainly weren't at the races at times this afternoon. She's got a job to do to rally the troops and get them up for that semi-final against St Helens next week. The Valkyrie have done it before in the semi-finals, caused the upset. Would be no surprise to anyone if they went and did it again. But of course Leeds can take so much confidence from this performance as they go into their semi-final against the Wigan Warriors, and it sets it up so interestingly, doesn't it, for next weekend, because yes, it's first versus fourth from a Leeds perspective, but they've just had an 80-minute tussle against a top 4 team that they'll have come out of, hopefully okay in terms of injuries, but certainly better off for it in terms of the way that they've played.
I think that everyone probably thought that Wigan were a shoo-in for a grand final, and after watching that Leeds performance, I think it might put a few question marks on that, and it really ties up well into this semi-final next week. Leeds are here to play, and they really want to get to this grand final.
Well, a fantastic team performance from Leeds, with so many good individual performances in the mix as well, and we can head back to Kev pitchside to hear from our Betfred player of the match, Mel Howard.
Mel, congratulations on a player of the match performance. Was that one of your best performances of the year?
I think collectively as a team, I think we've probably put together a solid 80 minutes there, and I think I just kicked as well as I could and got us some repeat sets and kind of just tried to do my job. So I think as a team that was probably our best performance, not necessarily individually, but all together.
It might not have been individually, but it was a player of the match performance. You was chosen by Kelsey as player of the match. So from your performance, what pleased you the most?
I think just again my kicking game. It can be tricky in the wet, but I think rolling the kicks through and finding a bit of space, trying to kick early a few times and sort of pin them down their end, and obviously just try and go out every week and do my job. And I think the middles worked hard and our outside backs got involved, so that was helpful for me, and start running the ball, and that's I think for me where I play best. So.
And it was a great game for a warm up for the playoffs next week. What did Lois say to you at the half-time break to keep you guys motivated in the second half?
I think it was a clinical sort of first 40 minutes, and I think we haven't been able to sort of put together a 40 like that all season. So, we just spoke about, keep going, and sort of means nothing if we came out in the second half and went away from what we needed to do. And the goal was, always to play 80 minutes, and, it's the big part of the season. So, prep for next week, and hopefully the grand final the week or two after.
Good luck next week, and I will try and just breach your coach over. Lois, can we just call you in, please?
You're on. Thank you. Well done.
Lois, was that the kind of performance and message that you wanted to send out today?
I think so, I think the messaging were more internal than anything else. I think the girls have shown that they can stick to process and what we've been working on. When we let it stick, it works. So I'm just proud of how they turned up in terms of intensity and intent. They showed that they want to compete and they want to be dominant, and they really pulled together. So I'm impressed with how they went today.
They seem to pull together a team, like you said there. But what pleased you most about the game, as an individual or as a team collective?
Both, to be fair. There's been individuals that we've been quite tougher throughout the year and asking more and more of them, and collectively we've said that we kind of just need to make sure we take games to oppositions rather than waiting, and we did that. I think we started off really well, obviously disappointing with how we finished, but definitely started off in the right manner, and that's what we're going to need next week.
Perfect preparation for next week?
Yeah, absolutely, perfect preparation, just hopefully get everyone through okay and no injuries.
Excellent, thanks Lois. I'll let you get back to your team.
Cheers.
Thank you, good luck.
Cheers.
Lois Forsell happy with her team's work this afternoon at Headingley, and rightfully so. They will head into those semi-finals next weekend full of confidence. And Kelsey, that is top 2, of course, with home advantage, but anything could happen next weekend.
I think that's the beauty of playoff rugby. Even if you are finishing the table in 4th, you can still go all the way. You can still, post some good performances, and I think next week it's Leeds is to lose, to be fair. We're going to show in for the grand final, and I think Leeds will be the one to cause an upset, and it definitely will be the game of the weekend next week.
So we hand over to our friends at Sky Sports for next week's semi-finals in the Betfred Women's Super League, but we are not done yet here on The Sportsman. Keep your eyes peeled for confirmation of our live coverage up to the end of the season very, very soon. And of course, Wednesday nights every week, The Last Tackle, bring you all the latest from the world of rugby league as we build up to what is going to be a thrilling end to the season right across the game, and of course that Ashes series on the horizon as well. So keep your eyes peeled. We'll have information for you very, very shortly. Kelsey, fantastic to have you with us today. You've made two debuts today, Huddersfield and the Sportsman. Big day?
Really big day. I've really enjoyed it. I've had a great day from start to finish. Managed to make my debut for Huddersfield. We've got a really good performance, and I can't wait for next year with the Huddersfield Giants. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, loads to look forward to across the game. Thank you for joining us as ever for Game Day Live here on the Sportsman. Our absolute pleasure to be able to bring you these games, and what a season we've had with our Betfred Women's Super League coverage. The standard goes up every season, and we've had a great year of action. We look forward to seeing what happens in the semi-finals next week. So that's all here from AMT Headingley. We will see you next time, and we'll see you on Wednesday for the last tackle. Leeds go marching on into the semi-finals with a brilliant win.
Gaskin goes it, and Gaskin scores again.
And Rhiannon Marshall scores. York hit back.
Ball back on the inside again as Kira Bennett just sidesteps her way in. York collects it, chance for Partington, gets it down. What a kick from Faye Gaskin! That is world class! Look what it means to them. Banks with a sidestep, and again. This is mesmerising stuff from the Wigan Warriors.
We know we've got the two best teams from the competition.
The history makers, the first women's team to retain their title.